presence of love that you all are. Welcome to Unity of Bellingham this morning, everybody. My name is Dyann Castro-Wehr, and I am your servant's assistant today. Today, Frank is our minister, Reverend Frank.
So the talk title today is Placing Your Hearts Against the Earth. It's actually a poem from Rumi, but as we get ready, we might think about, what does that feel like? I mean, what would your posture be if you placed your heart against the earth?
All right. And our music ministry today is Kathy and Marcia. And we welcome our special guest musician, J.P. Falcon.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit within, and all we are and all we do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and all I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. It's a blessing to the world.
Now we've come to the point of our service where we're going to spend a little bit of time in reflection and going to the quiet. So invite you to settle into your seats and allow yourself slow, deep breaths, finding a rhythm that feels comfortable to you. And as we settle into a posture that is open and ready to commune at a heart level with your soul, your spirit, we recall anybody at this time that comes to mind that might be in need of prayer, and I invite you to speak their names out loud. And we affirm the presence of the divine within each individual, and we see that individual living in this place of being held in the divine. We hold that vision for them at this moment, trusting in faith for spirit-filled unfoldment. And returning to our breath, returning to the center of your heart, I invite you to allow any weight or distraction to simply move through. We may not be able to stop the flow of thought, but we can allow. We can allow that to just pass through. And bring our attention to the center of our heart, the center of our beings. Here we can meet silence. And from this place of soft attention, let's allow this poem from the poet Rumi to land where it will land within you. The poem is called That Lives in Us. If you put your hands on this oar with me, they will never harm another, and they will come to find they hold everything you want. If you put your hands on this oar with me, they will no longer lift anything to your mouth that might wound your precious land, that sacred earth that is your body. If you put your hands on this oar with me, the power that made the universe will enter your sinew from a source not outside your limbs, but from a holy realm that lives in us. Exuberant is existence. Time is a husk. When the moment cracks open, ecstasy leaps out and devours space. Love goes mad with blessings, like my words give. Why lay yourself on the torturer's rack of the past and the future? The mind that tries to shape tomorrow beyond its capacities will find no rest. Be kind to yourself, dear, to our innocent foils. Forget any sounds or touch you knew that did not help you to dance. You will come to see that all evolves us. If you put your heart against the earth with me in serving every creature, our beloved will enter you from our sacred realm, and we will be so happy. So we take this into the silence for another few moments, allowing the words to touch what it will touch, to stick where it will stick, to enliven you.
Hope everyone's surviving daylight saving time. Don't feel bad for yourself, just feel bad for the people who have to set Stonehenge for an hour. Guys, gotta set those rocks again. Could be rainbows falling, sometimes mirages, or angels calling out. Who they know? I don't know. All I know is that they show. Keeps me strangely striding, often confused, forever riding on. Where to go? I don't know. All I know is that I'll go show. Music flows right from my soul, breaks your skin, seeps down to the bone, loves the truth, breathes imagination. It's all I know. It's everything I know. It's raining me down all over you. It took a fall from grace, some empty shadows, a warm embrace to bring it all back again. Is it really back again? I don't know. So I just show. It's somewhat painless, deeply moving, all the while goes laughing all around you. It goes up and down, moves in and out as you laugh again, spin around again, you dance again, and hug the earth again. I'll go show music flows right from my soul. Love's the truth, breeds imagination, seeks to soon, seeps down to the bone. It's all I know. All I know.
Thanks, JP. I have to listen to those lyrics again. Yeah, a couple more times. You do that. They're like layers of onions when I listen to your songs sometimes. Yeah, it's like, okay, wait a second. Something else is going on here. Did you catch it? And what I love about that song, thank you for singing it. And I have to confess, a lot of the sort of theme that I have been on so far in 2025 has a lot to do with, well, the whole theme for the year for me is harmony. And so every month I've been playing with harmony and abundance and harmony and connection and harmony and belonging and, this whole sense of harmony. And today is just a piece of harmony and belonging. But I was asking some questions. And the big thing that drove me this week is I want to be happy. Because a lot's been going on that's not made me very happy lately. I've really tried to, I've been playing on this road, and I look at people, someone I admire so much, Jesus, master teacher Jesus, others as well, and talk about Jesus. And this person who lived this life, we're always in this sense of exuberance, but always with a sense of the reality of who he was and what he was standing up to, what he was standing up for, what this sort of narrow path was between this ultimate exuberance and joy, which you sang of and Rumi spoke of, and the truth of sort of the realities of the outpitching of this life and the challenge that we have and following this road. And so, but in all of it, Jesus, for example, and Rumi that you read, the great prophet, the great Islamic mystic Rumi. I actually had a piece from the Tao, the Lao Tzu, the wise elder, the tradition from the East about genuine happiness. I have a piece from Isaiah. Oh, I have too much, so I'm just going to do a few. I'm not going to do them all yet. No, I'm looking at the clock. No. But I have a piece from Isaiah and a piece from Jesus I want to share with you. But just a reminder kind of how this starts and where this all gets to this sense of joy and happiness and connection. And it's so wrapped up in belonging. And I keep asking the questions of our teachers, tell me this path. Tell me this path to joy. And the end of this Rumi poem, I loved it. If you put your heart against the earth, with me, put your heart against the earth with me, not by ourselves, never alone, in service of every creature, of every. JP came in and noticed there's a couple eagles singing out here this morning. Did you guys hear them? Did you see them or just hear them? Yeah. So we're part of our congregation today is we have the congregation that sits in here and we have the congregation that sits out here. We do. I love it that today's our Earth Care group meets every second Sunday. So today our Earth Care, we can plan our Earth Day celebration in April today. That's what we're going to do, knowing that we've had a couple eagles come to visit us today. If you put your heart against the earth with me in the service of every creature, then our beloved will enter you from the sacred realm. We put our heart against the earth together in service to others, and then the divine will visit us and from the sacred realm, and we will be we will be so happy. That's how the poem ends. One of the things I do, I told you I'm kind of a runner, and I go run here and there. Not very fast anymore, but I still go run. And one of the things I like to do, one of my favorite runs is I go do like 10 minutes, and then I do some push-ups, and I get up, and I run some more, and I do push-ups. And by the way, when I say I run, if there's something interesting in the water or the waterfall, I walk, I look, I pay attention. That's my ideal. Joy and I, my daughter Joy, we call it runitation. It's a way. I'll set my insight timer, my meditation timer, and I'll just runitate. And it's different because I'm not trying to look at my watch. I'm not doing my, what's my miles per, minute. I'm more like I'm running as a way of enjoying. And we do these meditations. So I'm thinking of this poem, put my heart against the earth. And all week I'm just running and I'm doing these push-ups. And then I'm like, heart against the earth. And just, what does that feel like? And you can try it. Just go out in the dirt or the grass or someplace. Put your heart against the earth, as Rumi says, and open up the realm of the divine to enter in. What does that mean? If you see it, it's so humbling. It's so, the posture, I think of posture, we're all trying to have good posture. The posture, we're full and we're present and we're here and, I work on my posture all the time. The idea of being full and present to the world. And yet Rumi says, try this posture. Put your heart against the earth. Just be lowly. Just be like not in charge for a minute. It feels so good to not think that I have to be in charge for a minute. Wait, I'm not in charge of things. Yeah. How much do we think if we're worried and aggravated and angry and upset because things aren't the way I think they should be, who do we think's trying to be in charge? There's an allowance in putting our hearts against the earth. There's an allowance in that. So all week I've been trying that. So what is this? What is, I got my clothes pretty dirty one time out in the mud, but it's pretty good just to, what does that feel like? How odd it was for me to be doing this posture all week. And so I read so this is Rumi, an Islamic mystic. He's one of the people that was part of the swirling dervishes. You've seen them. They just get into that meditative stance where they just spin and just get lost in that meditation. So I went back and I looked at another piece. And the reason I looked at this is Lent. We had our Wednesday to start our sacred service Wednesday. Thanks for all we're here. Stardust Wednesday, contemplative music, and we did big dance together and singing to the stars with pictures of Hubble on the slides. And into Lent, one of the things that traditionally comes up, is, Lent is a time for sackcloth and ashes. You've heard those. Time to repent, time to fast. Well, one of the funny things about fasting, and you may find as part of a spiritual practice that fasting from food or fasting from other things is actually a very powerful practice. But here's what Isaiah said. Here's what Isaiah said at a time when he found that there was a crisis of poverty in Israel, actually in Judea, in the kingdom of Judea. There was a crisis of alienation. There was a crisis of separation of haves and have-nots, and a desperate cry from the people for support from the kings. But there was a great sense of power and empire in the land. And with so much focus on empire, we were forgetting about the people. So people are saying, oh, but we're good, our religiosity, we're good practice. We fast. That's part of our spiritual practice. We're going to fast. And Isaiah said this, speaking as the prophet, speaking as the words from the sacred realm, as Rumi would say, words that come from the sacred realm. Is this not the fast that I choose? To loose the bonds of injustice, undo the straps of people who are yoked, let the oppressed people go free, break every yoke that binds people. Is it not the fast I want? Is it not rather to share your food with the hungry? Bring the homeless poor into your house? And when you see the naked, to cover them and not to hide yourself from your own kin? But when we do these things, this kind of fast, then your light shall break forth like the dawn. Your healing shall spring up quickly. Your vindication goes before you. The glory of God shall be your rear guard. I want to be happy. I want to, what are some of the pathways? What are the practices? We want to be happy. We say, well, then let's do spiritual practice. Let's fast. It's Lent. Let's fast. Is this not the kind of fast I want? To practice justice where there's injustice, to remove the yoke of people who feel oppressed, to feed the hungry. I have a very simple piece today. I got Malin's bowl again. It doesn't mean anything today, Malin. It's just a bowl. With bagels. And I love this little table. And there's a reason for this. It's like 3 kinds of bagels, 2 kinds of napkins. It's not perfect. Because how many times it's like, once I'm ready, once I got it all together, once I know what I'm doing, once my tablecloths match, once I've got, once it's all, we can't have people over. Well, once everything's in order, then I'll connect. Once I got it down, once I've got it made, then I'll connect. Once everything's fine with me, then I'll connect. And you might hear, this was the prophet Isaiah, but you've heard these same words. Jesus said, he was talking Isaiah when he talked about, this is the kind of things I want. There was a time, John the Baptist was arrested. John is telling King the Herod Antipas, and they're saying, John the Baptist, he was the leader, and Jesus went and got baptized by John, and John's saying, I'm going to tell that king he's having an affair with his brother's niece. This is morally terrible. And they hauled him off to prison. And John writes back to Jesus and he goes, are you the one? Basically, are you going to take my place? Are you going to start, talking about morality and living the law in the right way it should? And Jesus, who never had a problem with, we'll try to do the law the best we can. But he said, here's what I want to tell John. Am I the one? Am I the one? The poor get food. The lame walk, the blind see, the deaf hear. Go tell John that. Are you the one? People who are suffering get freed from their oppression. People who are sick get healed. There's a transformation going on. Am I the one? Doesn't talk about morality, doesn't talk about law. He talks like Isaiah. Here's the fast I want. Transformation of hearts, transformation of consciousness. I want to see it different. When we say, well, the blind see, it could be blind, it could be physically blind, but it could be how I'm blind. What am I not seeing? It could be healing hearts, but the thing is it someone lame? What ways am I that person who's lame? What's tripping me up from bringing the fullness of joy? That people used to say, John, he used to fast and the disciples didn't eat. And they looked at Jesus and said, what's up with this guy? Man, he goes to parties and he's drinking and eating all the time and partying down. One guy's fasting and this guy's a glutton and a drunkard, they called him. And Jesus said, yeah, I want to be happy. I'm going to tell you the way of the realm of the divine. And it has to do with feasting. But it doesn't only have to do with me feasting. No, it has to do with me inviting others to the feast. It has to do with belonging. It has to do with connection. This is the way. This is the way of the happiness. This is like what Rumi said. You put your heart against the earth, and together you serve others and you bring them together. This is the way of happiness, is this togetherness. There's a story then Jesus told. It's about this idea, the realm of God, the reign of the divine, the consciousness of transformation, the consciousness of the divine, the kingdom of the Father. Said it lots of different ways. And of course, it starts off with, there was a feast. Now, I've mentioned this before, but to mention it one more time, when we hear parables, I want to suggest to you, don't make them allegories. And it's about a person who's throwing a feast, the master. And I'm going to suggest to you, don't just go instantly and go, well, the master's God and the servant's me. And just feel into the energy of this. Feel into the vibration of what this, it's a parable. It's not an allegory. It's a parable. It's not a metaphor. It's a parable. It's a wisdom teaching that brings an energy of transformation with it. So there's a feast, and the master tells a servant, go out and tell all the people that have been invited that the feast is ready. Come on in. So the servant goes out and finds the first person, and they say, oh, I've just bought some land. I need to go check it out. I got to go check out this new property I bought. So give my what's it called? I can't come. Say, I'm sorry, I'm not coming. So the servant goes to the second person, and that person says, I just bought 5 oxen, and I got to go take care of them. So sorry, can't come. And then the servant goes to a third person and says, the feast is ready. You've got the invitation, time to come in. And this person says, I just got married, sorry. It's kind of interesting. Doesn't say why. The other 2 people say, the reason I can't come is I got oxen. I got to go tend them. I got to land. I got to go see it. This person says, I got married. You can figure out what the distraction was. So I can't come. Jesus was a great storyteller. So the servant goes back to the master and says, I went to everyone who got invited, and nobody can make it. The master's like, what? Then I want you to go out in the byways, listen for Isaiah, and I want you to find the poor, the lame, the blind, they would have said, crippled, disabled. I want you to find everybody who you wouldn't think would be invited, and go invite them and bring them into the feast. So the servant goes out and finds all these people and invites them all, and they all come into the feast. And then the servant goes to the master and says, there's still room. And the master says, go to the highways, go to the byways, go everywhere. I want this feast to be full. I want the feast to be full. Invite everybody you can. Nobody can be left out. Bring them all in. And that's the story. And that makes me happy. We all belong. Now I wanted, a couple key words to this thing. The master tells the servant, go out. A lot of times here at Unity, it's fine. I love that we say, come on in. Service at 10, come on in. Special service, there's a class, come on in. Which is fine. And we could and we should, and we're so blessed to have a place and to do that. But it always really seems to me that when I hear these stories of Jesus, that the command is go out and find those invited. And the second time, go out and find the poor, the lame, the blind, the crippled, the oppressed. Go out and bring everyone in. Go out and bring them in. A lot of going out. And they goes out to someone who owns a land. And in sort of metaphysical, if you will, playing with this idea, is the first person, I have land, bought property. I'm focused on the stuff on the mortal plane. And you're asking me to come to a feast. You're asking me to come to a feast for my soul, but I am so distracted with what's going on out here, I can't do it right now. Can't. And then there's a person and they've got 5 oxen, five senses. Because I'm distracted with what I'm seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, tasting. I'm distracted with the stuff again on this plane of existence, fine, good, beautiful. But where's the balance between the feast of our souls on the eternal plane, the other truth of our existence? I'm distracted. And the third person, I'm married. And it's nothing against being married, but am I so focused on the love on this plane that I don't see the eternal, where I allow the divine entity, the sacred into my soul and the fullness of love in all its capacities? Distraction, 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 distraction. And yet here's the piece I love. Go out and find the blind and the lame and the deaf. And then I think, I don't have any oxen and I'm not buying any land and I've been married for 35, done that. But boy, this part made me happy. Because, well, you can speak for yourself, but for me, I miss it all the time. I'm blind plenty of times. And I can really be lame. I mean, there's a sense where there's a part of me that's not all perfect. There's a part of me that is a meal that's made of multiple different cups, and it works, but it's not all perfect. And I think of those parts of me and go, well, someday I will be spiritual if only I can fill in the blank. If I'd be more disciplined in my meditation, my mind goes off everywhere, I can't meditate. If I'd be more kind to certain people. If only I would show up in a different way. If only I know I could have volunteered. It's just, when we go out and this master says to the servant, bring in all the messy people. Go find all the people who don't have it all together yet. Yeah. Go find the people who aren't perfect. Go find those who mess up royally. Go find all the people that, despite all their best intentions, can't yet quite seem to do it right, whatever do it right means. Those people. This is the fast I want. Go find people who are feeling that they're oppressed and can't shake it, that there's something up and something wrong and something off, and can't figure out a way around it, and can't figure out what's the right thing to do, and can't figure out what's mine to do in this next place. I try to do the right thing, it doesn't seem the right thing, and now I'm frustrated, and I go, and I'm angry, and I'm sad, and I'm just outside. Does everyone know what I'm saying? We're messy. We're messy, human, beautiful, wonderful, sacred, complicated, messy, beautiful people who just get it so right and sometimes get it so wrong. And the master says, go out and get all them. Bring them into the feast. You're the ones, I'm the one, with all our stuff. Come in. It's time to celebrate who we are. There's a John the Baptist part of me that says, yeah, well, Herod had an affair with this, and he was like this, and he's not doing the right thing, and he's not really following the laws, and he's not really doing it, and I'm going to just get on. That's the John the Baptist way. The make it right, make it religiously right, make it right because of the appearance of some kind of morality or some kind of law or some kind of way I can judge people's behavior. And John says to Jesus, yeah, you're the one, right? You're going to keep doing it this way. And he goes, no. The blind see. I'm going to invite the blind because the role is to help us see. To help us see. In unity, we might say not only do we want to see, but it's another way of saying, how are we thinking? What thoughts are we holding? How can we affirm thoughts that move towards the message of the great teachers in the scripture and what we know to be the truth of our evolution of our consciousness, and deny the thoughts that are tripping us up and leading us into areas where we're just out of sorts? not feeling aligned, not in vibration. So here's the challenge and here's the joy. This is why I love this and it makes me happy. With all I am and all you are, we're invited. We're all invited. Not despite, well, you can come in even though. It's like, no, I'm looking for you, the master says. I'm looking for you. You messy ones. That's the ones that get, I'm inviting you. Bring it. Bring it. Because somehow in ways that I just find amazing, when we get together in all our messiness, in all our challenges, in all our stuff, I am not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's always fun. I'm saying that's where the party is. That's where the feast is. That's where we're being invited into. There was a piece I heard, you might have heard this, it's a thing called Hidden Brain, Shankar Vedantam. You heard that podcast? NPR? No? Oh, yeah, you guys know, yeah. Hidden Brain. And he invites people in to talk about different parts of our psyche, how we think and what's going on. I had a great a talk with a fellow who talked about, and his particular journey was coming out as a gay man. And he talked about his journey and how he would so often hide, and the freedom that came with as his journey continued for people to know him for who he was, And that's sort of a story that's very powerful. But this person, he's like a chair of a law department at a prominent university, and he started doing research, and he said, well, that's a big item, but in what ways do other people, does everybody have pieces of themselves that they see as messy? Whether they are or not, we perceive that there are things of ourselves that we really are struggling to share. And he said what was fascinating is when they did the research, the predominance of people that had something. And he said, and he was talking to men specifically because he was talking to this man. And he said, how many men have a struggle just realizing and owning the fact that they're aging? Aging. Probably put women in that category too. And we'll do so much to avoid talking about that or even thinking that other people notice. Of course we notice, but it's a lot of energy. Or another one is just vitality for men. I'm still strong. Well, I'll admit at 66, I'm feeling the difference from 46. I do. All right. I'm still going to the party. I get to go, and it's okay. Another interesting piece they talked about was, and again, this was specifically for men, is money. Is that in our society, there was this feel like, I need to be a provider. Do I make enough? Did I make enough? Did I save enough? Do I save enough? Have I really met some kind of whatever the mark is in our minds or in our idea of have I done enough money making in my life? And it creates a great amount of stress, almost to the point where people like going, they get invited to the party and they feel like, me, I haven't achieved the goals that, who made these goals? I don't know. But somehow, and there's this piece where we don't feel welcome because we don't feel like we made enough. He said the fourth one for men, and I found this very interesting. He didn't elaborate on it, but the research showed people, and I wanted to bring it up here because people were veterans, that there was a lot of stuff about people as we went through and we reminisce upon our service to the country, but still that brought up energy for people. So next time you see a vet, thank them and love them, because that can be a big energy too. So I asked Dyann, I said, so I heard this thing with Shankar Vedanta, and he talked really quickly about these things that men hold on that make them think, I'm on the outside. I'm not invited to the feast. There's this piece of me that's really bothering me about my sense of, am I worthy? So what is it for women? And you can answer that yourself. There's so much in our culture about how do I look? Am I invited? And you can tell me, I'll ask the women, you fill in the blanks for me. Do I appear enough? Does my house, is it clean enough? I've heard that one. Do my children measure up? There's a sense that maybe I feel like something I did, and it reflects on me because of maybe how my children are feeling or acting or looking or whatever. You can fill in the blank. But how many of us, when the servant goes out and says, you are so blessed, you are so welcome, you are so appreciated, all these little things work in our way and our subconscious go, yeah, not me, I'm not worthy. Not me. If you knew about me, and the master says, I do know about you, and I want you. I do know, and I want you. You, not despite it, because of it, beloved ones, you. And that's the parable. That makes me happy. So close your eyes for a second, if you will, as we close. And just let your feet settle on the floor and take a breath. Be in that place of your heart, the temple of your heart, the ashram of your soul. That place where you know the truth of your being and where you belong. And listen to this couple sentences again from Rumi as we close. Be kind to yourself, dear one. Be kind to your innocent follies. Any sound or touch, forget them if they do not help you dance. If you put your heart against the earth with me, if you put your heart against the earth with me in serving every creature, just in serving creatures, our beloved will enter you from the sacred realm. And then we will be so happy. Just sit with that in the silence. In the silence. Just a few announcements today. Actually, there's a lot going on. A couple quick notes. The annual meeting is the end of the month. It's the last Sunday of the month, so it's like the 30th. And so we want to be sure, it's always part of our bylaws, is to at least 30 days before, and I've been mentioning it, but we have candidates to run for the board. But if anyone else who wasn't spoken to that wants to put their name in for the board, please do so. We need to know about a month ahead. So now is the time. I think we've reached the end of the opportunity to talk to you. So please let us know if you're interested in running for the board. And put it on your calendar, annual meeting, woohoo! It's always fun. Get the state of the spiritual center for the year. We'll bring in new board members and say goodbye to the ones who have served, and that's always a good thing. By the way, last week, if you were here, you probably heard Jim's wonderful spiel on our mushroom logs and the different I couldn't even start to repeat what he said. It was so cool. But so there's a sign-up list because we need to know how many logs pieces to have so we know how many inoculated pegs so we can create a log that creates mushrooms. If you want to know more about it, and you were here last week, you haven't heard Jim talk about it, you can see Jim after. An Earth Care meeting is today, so everyone on the Earth Care team, and if you're interested on the Earth Care team, stay after. We're going to have a meeting. We're going to talk about mushrooms, and we're going to talk about what we're planning to do for Earth Day 2025, which will be in April, which will involve us going out and doing some fun things from Mother Earth, probably in a park, probably involving food, of course, because Unity, it's going to be a potluck. And it'll involve some other fun things, maybe even some dancing, drumming. Yeah, stay tuned for that. Also, I wanted to mention, and this is something, Ted, raise your hand. If you guys all know Ted, I know Ted. I don't know if everyone knows Ted, but here and Heather, they found this really interesting called the Case for Smiles. And it's a way to make fun pillowcases that then we just donate to children who are suffering from various diseases. And the levity and the joy of creating these pillowcases. So for anyone who likes fabric arts or likes doing creative things, please talk to Ted and Heather. It looks like a fascinating organization. I'll bring this to the board too, and maybe it's, I would assume it's something the board would be interested in supporting. Yeah, please comment. Ooh.
Anyone likes to sew, wants to show sew. If anyone like me who doesn't know how to sew, you can cut fabric to make these pillowcases. And they start with the local hospitals and then spread out of state.
Oh. It looks really cool, y'all.
Thousands of these every month.
What's the date of the sewing?
Friday, April 18th.
On a Friday at night or daytime? 2 to 5. Okay. If that sounds interesting, we've got the website, and you can find out more about it, and the pictures look like fascinating. Thanks, Ted. Thanks for bringing that to us. JP, do you want to say something really quick about?
Sure.
You talk about something. I already got my tickets, but you know.
Yeah, this Thursday and Friday, I'm going to be doing an event with some folks. I started a business with some.
You might want to use the mic. It picks it up on
It's
the recording.
Speaking Feather. And so we're going to be producing a show this Thursday and Friday at the Firehouse Arts and Event Center. And so it is titled Sacred Echoes. And so it's basically going to be music to heal the soul. So you guys come on out. Original music, no, I don't believe there's going to be any covers. At least for me, there's not going to be. But we got 4 artists. We got Mark Nichols, Ben Workman-Smith, and Saul Met, or Andrew Johnson from Lummi, and then myself. So both nights, and it goes from 7 to 9 both nights, and you can go on to the Firehouse Arts and Event Center, and they have the link where you can get tickets. And I believe you have a flyer too that has a little Q code there that you can go get. And it's over in Fairhaven, off of 14th and Harris.
And it holds about 110,
Yeah,
120
110,
maybe.
yeah,
so-
maybe. So that's why we're doing it 2 nights, because the tickets are going up pretty quick. So
And people know JP. So I would suggest if you want to go, probably do that today. I would suggest get your tickets right away. And we're going Thursday night, by the way. So we're going Thursday. We'll be there. Okay, I mentioned thanks, JP. Earth Care today. I didn't talk to Malin. So Power Out would be 3rd, but are we switching and doing this other project? Are we going to start? Do you want to say something about it? Do you want me to? Do you want to? I know, sorry. Yeah.
So the outside on that big wall, there's 2 little paintings. It needs a bigger painting. So I'm gonna order a big piece, 5 by 6 of poster board, and we're gonna create a collage of the 12 powers. So we're switching from doing individual art back there to a big piece. It'll have Mount Baker, a couple of things that show the local area, and then the power, and then the powers coming out in different colors. So if you like to rip paper in different colors, you'll be ripping and gluing down to create a huge kind of mosaic or of the 12 powers. Okay, and we'll work on that for I don't know how long it'll take us to do it. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and it's funny. I'll just tell you something. The region, the Northwest Unity region, we have a retreat / 1 year and a workshop, like a mini conference for the region the next year. So this year for the Northwest region, we're having a mini conference. And when the board and everyone gathered, and they said, well, where should, last year it was Coeur d'Alene, the year before that it was in Bend. And we said, well, where should we do it this year? Everybody's hand shot up and said, let's go to Bellingham. So yeah, so the regional conference is going to be here in Bellingham. And so in some ways, like I'll just mention, if there's been any little project that people have been saying, we should do this or we do that, it's time to do it. Because we're going to have 100 people visiting from all over Unity region going to show up here in September. So we got a deadline. That's why this is beautiful that we can do this piece of art. So, and other things as well. Oh, and we're starting to get the agenda, and we're going to have a guest come and do the music for us. Do you guys know Daniel Namod? So Daniel Namod will be doing a workshop during the conference, and then he's going to do a concert that Thursday night. So we'll have a Daniel Namod, pretty big New Thought artist, going to be doing a concert here that Thursday night. So I know it's September, but it's going to be here really soon. So the chaplain today is Helga, correct? If you want a moment of prayer, then Helga will be back in the chaplain room. By the way, we have our Monday morning spiritual, what do we call it? Spiritual discussion? Conversation, that's conversation. It's our spirit group for Monday morning. And it's an open group, by the way. We meet here, we circle up, and we talk about usually what was going on Sunday is usually with our kickoff. And sometimes it goes all sorts of places. Tomorrow, by the way, meet here. We're going to go take it on the road. What did the master tell the servant? To go out. We're going to go out. We're going to go visit one of our members who can't travel much anymore, and we're going to take our spiritual discussion on the road. So we're going to go out tomorrow. So meet here if you want, about 10:25, if you've been part of that group or want to know more about it. And otherwise, I think many of you know I've sent some emails, where we can meet. We're going to go out tomorrow as part of our spirit group. And I think one last thing, Lisa, you got up last week and talked about, Lisa's the speaker next week, and the talk title, remind me again? Oh, I have it right here. You don't have to remind me, I got it. Okay, her talk title is, Now What? Thriving in the Midst of Change. And then right after the service, we're gonna have a workshop that Lisa's gonna do. Growth is inevitable, change is inevitable. Growth isn't, change is inevitable, growth is optional. And so stay after, it's $25 or $35 if you want her book. But don't not come because of money. That's not the point. So if you want to come, and you can make a love offering that works for you. And also, one thing Lisa didn't tell, raise your hand, Lisa, so people know this is Lisa. When she was at Unity on the Temple, which was kind of an original Unity church for a long time. It's a giant, beautiful, gorgeous place in Kansas City for how many years? 15 years, and then worked at Unity Village for 2 years as well. So she's been around Unity a long time. Unitech, are we still using that word? Yeah, for a long time. So it'll be a great opportunity. And I think lastly, Dyann, you had something?
This Thursday afternoon or morning, 11:45, is the Women of Unity's monthly luncheon. So it's a potluck lunch, and all women of Unity are invited. So please join in, 11:45.